it and looks for Finney Smith. It's a loose ball, and Luka picks it up. Some Luka magic! Ain't nobody in this game!
You know, the Clippers definitely, to me, their rival team is the Lakers. You know, no doubt that it is. But, you know, one team I feel like they just hate losing against is the team they lost against here last night. And to me, it's their playoff rival team, which is the Dallas Mavericks. And, you know, Luka Doncic is like a thorn on the Clippers side. I mean, even though it's kind of weird to say that, because in the biggest moments in the playoffs, they beat him back-to-back years. And they beat him on the biggest stage while he was playing good. And the media was behind him. And the media was saying he was the best player on the floor between Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. And to me, if you ask me, that situation right there, or that look right there is off to me, or that notion is off, because to me, it only matters what you do in the biggest moments. It doesn't matter what you do in the playoffs, or, you know, it doesn't matter what you do, in the regular season or anything like that. I mean, more or less, it counts the most when you do it in the playoffs, when it counts, you know, at the most, at its highest, when you're playing basketball at its highest level, to me. So if you ask me, the Clippers as a team, they really own Luka, but it's just that they can't figure out how to really stop Luka, and that's their problem. They can play at a high level, they can do a lot of good things, but stopping Luka is hard. But what they have to realize, the rest of the league can't stop Luka either. He's just one of those type players, and he's just a thorn on their side, because they know at some point, you know, the better and better he gets, the harder and harder it's going to be to knock him off in the playoffs. So looking at last night's game, you know, the Clippers do the same thing they've done in a lot of games they played against Dallas. They fell behind by a lot of points. They were down huge, and Ty Lue spoke on it after the game. You know, it's been like this the last several years with this team. You know, they find themselves down big, and they're trying to come back and win a game that's, you know, definitely, you know, winnable, but at the same time, it's harder because you're putting yourself at odds to win a game when you're down X amount of points. I mean, when I actually looked at they were down by like 20 or 30. I mean, I actually stopped watching for a little while because I was just, you know, upset at the fact that they're not playing with the level of urgency, or they're not playing with like a dominant team should, to me. To me, they should be playing more dominant rather than just playing basketball and just living off their talent. They should be way more dominant than what they are with all the pieces that they have. And going into a game like last night, everybody know that's like a playoff rival for them, and everybody know Luka is connected to the Clippers forever, because that's the team that he lost to in the playoffs back-to-back times, where a lot of people thought he could have went further in the playoffs if he didn't have the Clippers in his way, in which he did prove that. You know, last year, you know, they did beat the Phoenix Suns, the number one team, and they went a little bit further in the playoffs than what they usually do. So that was proven. But at the same time, you know, they did play without Kawhi Leonard, and on top of that, the Clippers did come back, but it wasn't enough. And see, that's my thing. You know, stop shooting threes, stop, you know, taking possessions off, and stop giving the other team a way to, you know, dominate you when you're the more dominant team. I mean, there's no way in hell Dorian Finney-Smiths and Maxi Klebers and players like that, they shouldn't even be on the same level as a lot of the players on, you know, the Clippers. I mean, they're not on the same level as a John Wall, not even a Reggie Jackson, you know what I'm saying, not a Nicholas Batum. They're not on the level of players like that to me. Those, when you talk about Nicholas Batum, players like that, you know, those players have more of a higher IQ than a Dorian Finney-Smith or a Maxi Kleber, to me. So I mean, if that's the case, then the Clippers got to play like it. And my thing with the Clippers is they have these games where they go in here and they just don't play the way they should. I mean, the other night against the Brooklyn Nets, it was the same thing. You know, the Clippers, well, of course, they won't down points like that, but still, it's like the other team came in with the mindset of dominating the game, and regardless of, you know, the ebbs and flows of the game, how it goes back and forth, you know, a lot of this and that, I felt like the Nets definitely, you know, had a great chance of winning that game, not only because, you know, the Nets have just as many shooters as the Clippers have, but because they also have Kevin Durant, and, you know, to me, you know, Kevin Durant is the ultimate, you know, common denominator dominator, but at the same time, Kevin Durant knows how to play the game at a different level than even a Paul George does. And of course, they didn't have Kawhi Leonard, but at the same time, Paul George has been in the league, long enough, and he's been a superstar himself, and a lot of people still think he's a superstar. So, I mean, that's, a lot of people look at that firepower for firepower, and I don't think he matches up well against Kevin Durant. Of course, Kawhi does better, but at the same time, there again, your team is better than the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets are a team trying to figure out their way. They just got another head coach, and they're really just trying to figure out what they can do to, be better as a team. Your team is looking to win a championship. You see what I'm saying? So your team should be more, in tune. Your team has had more time to play with each other, more, I don't know, I just feel like the Clippers should be more together in regards to their dominance and how they play, on a nightly basis. And it seems like sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. It seems like they're more hit or miss than they are consistent. And see, it's one thing to beat up on teams like Houston and teams like that, but you got to find a way to beat the teams that are really good too. And, and beat the teams that really have star players as well. And Luka, definitely gave, the Clippers the business, 35 points, I think 11 assists. I mean, he flirts with a triple-double, seemed like all the time, so it doesn't really surprise anybody. But at the same time, the Clippers should be a lot more better and a lot more sound on defense, a lot more concise on offense. And as I said, they play with Kawhi, they play with and without Kawhi Leonard, they play with and without PG. So really, there's no excuse for, the lag of play. And like I said, they come out in games like this sometime and lay an egg. And against a team like Dallas, everybody hyped this game up yesterday. Everybody was hyping it up yesterday morning and talking about it on, a couple, sports shows and things like that. So, I mean, the Clippers know what it is when they play Luka. I mean, hell, they know what it is whether they got Kawhi and or PG. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this dude's going to give you the business, this dude's going to play hard, and this dude is going to score. But the main thing they have to understand is the same thing that, they did in the playoffs. You can wear Luka down during the course of a game. He can start out high, but you can wear him down because he's out of shape. He's not, 100% fit. And as I said, he gets tired at times. He gets a little winded at times when I watch him play sometimes. So, being physical with him, not being finesse with him will wear him down a little bit. And sometimes that could counteract. Sometimes that could wear you down guarding him because he's so big and strong too, and he's skilled. But at the same time, the Clippers should be able to have a handle on a game like this and not be down 20, 30 plus points in a game like this. And the Clippers are trying to be a dominant team. And like I said, even without Kawhi Leonard, they still have more talent than the Dallas Mavericks, if you ask me. But it doesn't really matter if you don't go out there and play like you do. And that's my thing with the Clippers. They play a lot of times lagging basketball, and they don't play up to the level that a lot of people put them on. And I'm getting to the point where it's like, I'm not gonna give them credit for something they're not doing. They need to go out there and really dominate and play a lot better. And I understand Kawhi isn't there, but they've played without Kawhi before. They've played without PG before. This team is used to not play with their star players. And last year they went out there and played. They went out there and played their hearts out last year without neither one of them. You know what I'm saying? So with a Paul George on the floor, you should be a lot better, and you should be beating the top teams too, not just the lower seeded teams that nobody cares about and the teams that are afterthoughts, like the Houston Rockets and teams of that nature. So I'm gonna need to see more, from the Clippers, if they're really going to be a contender. And I want to see how that all pans out. I mean, they got, talks about a trade and all these other things and going on and all this speculation. Don't worry about all that. Be who you have on the floor now is good enough to be winning all these games just about. I mean, it really is. So the Clippers just need to get better. And honestly, it's not just the players, it's the coaches too. The coaching needs to get better. I'm kind of, getting over it with Ty Lue. Ty Lue is starting to really irritate me, kind of sort of like, Doc Rivers did. But hopefully, Ty Lue does have some, charisma about him more than Doc Rivers does. Doc Rivers is more, sheltered the way he coaches. He tries to be very precautious about certain things. things and he doesn't make adjustments well, Ty Lue could be the same way, but he also has a daredevil mentality at times too. So, that can, bode well, for the Clippers if it's used in the right, situation. But either way, as I said, I need to see more improvement from this team. They're going to have to start beating teams that have a name, not just teams who are nobodies. And they're going to have to start collecting wins like that too in order to be a championship caliber type team, because a lot of people are giving them that title, but really right now, technically, they're not playing like it. And there again, a loss is a loss. I mean, it's just one game, but at the same time, with the playing term and everything, really every game counts now. So, you got to try to win as much as you can and be at your best each and every night, because the opponent's only going to get tougher, the schedule's only going to get tougher, and the Clippers are going to see tougher days if they don't buckle down more on defense, and if they don't just keep settling. They can't just keep settling for threes a lot either. You know what I'm saying? They got to be more aggressive, get people in foul trouble, get more consistency on the offense, get to the free throw line, and, give yourself wide open, high efficient shots that you can take and make at a high level, and, your offense will flow a lot better. Reason being why I say they're much better with Kawhi Leonard, because, as I said, he's going to play defense, he's going to play offense, and he's going to play very efficient, and that goes a long way when you're trying to win. So hopefully he gets back soon. I've been hearing good things about him in regards to his progression, playing 5-on-5s, been doing very well. Hopefully, he comes back sooner than later. They really haven't set a date on that, but, the Clippers just got to play better as a team, better as a whole, or make some changes. One of the two, but they have to be a lot better. They have to look a lot better, and they have to look more like a dominant team rather than a team that's just, playing right now, or a team that's just living off of talent. They got to be a lot more dominant than that. So that chemistry is going to have to, come a little bit quicker. They're going to have to find a way to make some changes in the lineup if need be. But whatever the case is, they need to do it quickly, because some of these games I'm looking at, I don't see a championship caliber team. Now, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt because it's early in the season and it's not mid-season yet. So I'll give them that. But at the same time, I'd say 30, 40 games, I say 30 games, 35 games in, somewhere in there, the Clippers need to look a lot better, because if they don't, not only me, it's going to be a lot more people who start to worry about their success, and there's going to be a lot more people starting to worry about whether they can really win the championship or not. But like I said, we'll give them time and see what they can do, see what adjustments they can make. This is a loss against Dallas. Not the only time they'll play Dallas. They have another opportunity to play them again. Hopefully next time they'll be a little bit better, more competitive throughout the game, rather than the Clippers having to make a huge comeback at the end or something like that and can't finish it up because they don't have the energy to. So, let's just hope for better from the Clippers, and hopefully, it'll put them in better position to look like a championship team, and hopefully by that time they'll have Kawhi back too, and maybe they can go out there and string some games together and get on a winning streak, a real winning streak, and start to dominate a little bit more. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check out my other videos if you haven't. Also, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you choose to. And hey, till next time.